Hey guys, welcome. So today it is time to do the August Shop My Stash. Wow. Okay, yeah, August. I'm going to actually do something a little bit different this time around by having the random number generator help me pick out some items to use this month. I don't want it to completely pick everything. I do want to have a little bit of control because I am trying to be very mindful about using things in some sort of circulation, right? Like evenly. So I do tally everything and make sure that I'm hitting all my makeup products. But that said, sometimes I do hit a wall and I just don't know what to bring in past a certain point, and I'm like, I just like the element of surprise and possibility, which number generator will come in very handy for that. Excited to try that for at least my eyeshadows, maybe my lipsticks. Everything else I don't have as much of, so I don't really need to do that. And that's something I've been wanting to do for a while now, so I just like using the random generator whenever I can because I think it's fun. If it's picking out something that I just used last month, I'm not going to throw it in because I don't want to use the same exact thing 2 months in a row for eyeshadows and lipsticks if I can help it. So that's the only time I'm not going to listen to it. But other than that, it is fair game. If you are new here, I do not pick out any new foundations for the month because I have so little of them. I only have 2 concealers, so I only use those. Bronzers, I think it's time this month to switch them out. I usually keep those in for 2 months. Same with my highlighters. It's time to switch those out too, and I usually keep those in for 2 months. So if you want to skip the recap, I always leave the timestamp down below if you just want to get right to the new products for the month. Let's get into the recap, and if you're not into that, I'll just see you where the new products are being pulled in. These were all of last month's lip products. The nude lip color, the In the Buff. I did mention that I did want to finish this up, and that still is the case. I really love this color, so that's going to stay in actually till the end of the year whenever I finish it. I did play around with color a little bit with these two. Now, normally I am not somebody to wear really bold colors on like an everyday basis. I kind of pulled these out for like a video, like today I'm wearing this guy, and I really enjoyed wearing both of these the very few times I did wear them. These are both shades of magenta, as you can see here. For a second, I was thinking of decluttering this one because it was starting to bleed a little bit throughout the day. Like, I wore it in the video, it was fine, but then when I kind of checked back in, it was kind of feathering around my lips. But then today I decided to use a lip pencil to kind of stop that from happening, so we'll see how it wears today. Not to mention it's really old, so it kind of has a lot more going against it than for it, but I decided I don't have a problem keeping both of these. Again, I'll see how this one wears today, and if I find that it's still feathering, I might declutter it, but I do like the color overall. So both of these are really cool. This was one of my favorites. This is the Gen Nude Bare Minerals liquid lipstick in the shade Juju, and love this one. I wore this only like 2 times though, so I didn't get as much use out of it as I probably could have. While it is easy to wear, I tend to gravitate more towards like glosses right now because of the season and the vibe. So that's the only reason why I didn't wear this as much as I probably could have. Do still love that one. And then I had the NYX Butter Gloss, which this right here, I was really unsure about it. I was thinking I might want to declutter it. This is in Fortune Cookie. Tried layering it though over a lipstick, and I kind of like doing that. You just have to be really careful with this one because it is a milky kind of gloss, and sometimes I don't like how it looks on me by itself. It depends how thick it's applied. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it and hold on to it for now. I might roll it into this month again, we'll see. For blushes, I did pull in Dallas by Benefit and the Salon Fun. This is by Everyday Minerals. This is a sample, and I really enjoyed using both of these a lot. This is that mauve nude kind of blush. It's beautiful. I absolutely love Dallas. And the Everyday Minerals one I also love. I'm wearing this one today. I really did love wearing both of those, so those are still keepers. Oh, I forgot to mention Half Red. This lip pencil was also one of the lip colors that I brought in last month, and I only wore this once, which I am not surprised about that at all. I was kind of saying in the Shop My Stash from last month that I wasn't sure how much use I was going to get out of it. I really liked it the one time I wore it though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looked pretty on. It's a little bit on the darker side for this time of the year, so that's kind of why I didn't really want to reach for it too much, but it was lovely. These 2 eyeliners, this is a navy blue eyeliner. This one was a teal eyeliner. It looks really bright here. I actually enjoyed wearing both of these many times this month, which I was surprised about. So this Covet shade by Urban Decay, this is one of their 24/7 liners. I wore this 5 times, which is a lot for me when it comes to colored eyeliner, but this is a very wearable shade actually. It's not so bright that it's like it draws a lot of attention, but it just is a very flattering color, so I was really happy to wear this 5 times. And this Midnight eyeliner by Avon is just a typical navy eyeliner, which I also wore a lot, and I'm wearing this today as well. I wore this 8 times this past month, which is very exciting as well. I just like when I wear other colors besides like brown and black. That makes me very happy, and it makes me feel like excited that I can wear color on my eyes without feeling like it's too much, and actually, you know, make it part of a routine in some way. So I was really happy with that. I also pulled in the Almay Brown Topaz. I used this a few times. It's nothing special to say there. It's a nice liquid liner. I had the Marc Jacobs bronzer in for 2 months now, so I'm going to switch this one out this month, and I like this. I say that every single video that I talk about this. It's a great bronzer, so I'm ready to move that one out. Some eyeshadows. So I brought the trio in of the NYX eyeshadows that are pretty old, and I still really like these eyeshadows. They're neutral, they're not necessarily the most interesting colors, but on the lid they look great. So right now I still enjoy these, which makes me happy because they are really old. And I don't want to keep around old eyeshadows that I don't like. So those are still cool. The Golden Olive sample by MAC. This is a really old sample that I got off eBay years ago. One of their pigments. I've enjoyed wearing this shade of green a lot. Just a really beautiful pigmented color, but didn't feel like too much. I tend to kind of stick with neutrals a lot, so again, if I find opportunities to add a little bit more color in that feel like authentic to me and how I wear makeup, I'm really excited about that. So that is a keeper. I love that. It actually worked out really well. And I brought in, this is Sweet Lust by MAC as well, and my goal with this color was to pair it with the deep bronze shade because I do have this Avon Duo that is older. I wanted to see if this could dupe that close enough so I can get rid of the Avon Duo, and it does look very similar. I actually wore this on one eye and the Avon Duo on the other eye, and they look pretty much identical. Kind of silly because it's basically a pink and a brown. Like, do we need to get really deep about it? No. But yeah, that worked out really well. So I was really happy about that. I brought in the e.l.f. palette. This is the Mad for Matte in Nude Mood. And you've seen this probably a bunch of times. This was in a project pan, you know, a couple months ago, and yeah, I used it a few times, not a ton. I don't really like love reaching for mattes, like plain old brown mattes. Yeah, this palette has its purpose. I use it for blending out or transition shades or crease shades, so I used a couple of the shades here and there. I don't love every color in here. I don't like these 2 shades. I never use those. This pink is pretty much useless, so I took it for what it was worth, and yeah, fine enough. Used it a couple times and I still feel the same way about it. It's okay, you know, does the job. And I also pulled in the shade Olive. This is an Ulta single, and I think I'm gonna actually end up decluttering this one. Yeah, here's the thing. I like the shade Olive. I like the color Olive, and you would think it's one of those like basic neutrals that what is there to not like, right? But I just never wanted to reach for it, like, ever. It's just really old. It's huge. I think I wore it about 3 times and they were all forgettable in my opinion. I actually really like the color Olive, but like as an eyeshadow, that particular one I'm just not excited to use anymore, whatever the reason is. I'm just not. It's just so old and I've had it forever. Every time I pull it out, I'm just never that excited about it. I don't know, it's just kind of blah. Perhaps seeing it in a different way, different brand, different layout, maybe that would change it up, but I think I'm ready to part with it. I have expressed my kind of boredom with a lot of my bigger Ulta shades. I've decluttered a couple of them already, so I'm not really surprised about that. Let's get into the products I'm pulling in for August. Alright guys, we're going to start with my eyeshadow singles first. I'm going to be picking out about 3 of them, and I allowed the Google generator to come up with the other 5 that I want to bring in. I have my Project Pan eyeshadows that I'm working on. I have 4 of those. Okay, so here is my good old rain case here, and I know off the bat, actually I'm going to close this for a second. I know off the bat I want to bring in like 3 of these guys. I want to pull in Nude Beach. This is just a shimmery, like pinky beige color, so that's really pretty around this time of the year. I wish I could swatch it, but of course I cannot because I only have one hand, but take my word for it, it is very pretty. Also want to pull in this Bare Skin eyeshadow. At one point I almost thought I wanted to declutter it, but I decided I liked it enough, so I just need to use it. So I'm gonna pull this one in because it just looks pretty for August. In this part right here, I want to pull in Sex Kitten. Now, I feel like I pulled this in recently. The reason why I want to pull it in again, though, is because I wasn't sure if it was one I wanted to keep, because I feel like it's a little bit nondescript in my collection. I mean that it's just one of those like brown colors that I always forget like what it looks like on my lid, and if it's like actually really special or if it's just like any old kind of color. It looks really pretty in the container. It doesn't ever stand out to me though when I have it on my lid. Like it could be any other brown color in my collection. Thinking it's on the chopping block for that reason. I just don't want to keep eyeshadows like that anymore, that I'm just like, what does that look like on me again? Like, I'm over that. So I want to wear it and make a decision this month, hopefully, and see if it's a color I actually want to keep or if it's just too much like everything else, because I am trying to shrink these down, these Bare Minerals colors, if I can. But if I end up loving it, then cool, great. Yeah, my Google number generator picked out these 5, so I'm going to go into my binder. I numbered all my eyeshadows and we're gonna see what these shades are. I'm very excited because I have no idea, so hopefully they all work out. The first number was 32, which is actually this Urban Decay AC/DC, which is actually perfect because I want to get more use out of a color like this. I always have like tons of neutrals that I use, so any kind of color is fun. I usually use this around the winter time, but let's see what that's like this month using it in August. There's 32. All right, 42. Oh, I looked at my binder. 42 is actually this e.l.f. shade in Toasted. Doesn't look too appealing inside the container here, but that's because I had to repress this. It did break, but this is actually gorgeous, and I hate that I can't swatch this right now. They don't make these anymore, but I remember there was this really great YouTube channel. It's called Ready Set Glamour, and she doesn't make videos anymore, but she was really talking these up and I fell for it. I bought this one and the bark one, but oh my gosh, it is so pretty. I feel like I have this color like a million times over in my collection. It's just a shame that the packaging isn't that great, but other than that, it's a beautiful shadow. Next number is 45. 45 is actually one of these crayon shadows, so it is this NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Lime, which looks a lot like the golden olive color that I brought in last month by MAC. I will use this and I guess compare it to the MAC one and see how they look on the lid to see if they're that similar, because do I need it in a pigment and a eyeshadow crayon? Because I know I like this. I remember really liking it the last time I pulled it in, which was like a year ago or something, so that's good. 52 is MAC Nylon. This one I brought in sometime in the winter, I want to say, or spring, and I remember loving this and wanting to get more use out of it. So I'm kind of happy it picked this one out for me because I don't have any pale champagne-y colors, and this could work as a highlight too. So that's great. I'm glad to pull in colors that I know I really like. So MAC Nylon it is. 55 is my last one, which is going to be a MAC shadow. So that's Naked Lunch. Naked Lunch is this guy. Okay, that's a pretty classic MAC shade, and okay, so it'll be interesting to play around with this because it looks kind of like plain. And I feel like I say that every time I talk about this one. It's like one of those like staple kind of eyeshadow shades, but then you also forget what this looks like. So always welcome a chance to re-explore. Play around with that this month. It looks kind of boring, but sometimes they surprise you, and it's just amazing to me how much you can forget what something looks like on your lids, or if you like it. Like, I don't recall not liking this, so that's good. And we have my eyeshadow palettes, which I honestly am not really feeling like pulling any of these in this time around because I don't know. I feel like it's been a while since I've pulled a palette in. The Comfort Zone palette, I haven't used this in forever, but I literally just pulled in a green. I've been using greens nonstop. A Project Pan eyeshadow that looks so much like this, so that's not gonna come in, even though I do kind of want to use it. It's just, I mean, does that mean I should just declutter the thing? I don't know. Yeah, I just like, I'm not really interested in using my palettes right now, which is so sad. I have the Chocolate Bar palette sitting on my dresser for the Project Pan and my Anastasia one, so I'm just gonna let these sit here for this month. That's okay, because I don't really feel like wanting to use any of them right now. That's okay. That's all right. We'll stick with the singles. So here are the eyeshadows I'm playing around with this month. I'm happy to have like a little bit of pops of color here, but you know, mainly neutrals, which works. So 8 eyeshadow singles and then the 4 that I'm using for my project pan. I think that rounds up my August shadows pretty well. So for my blushes, I won't be using the random number generator because I kind of like to keep things going in an even rotation here. So I already know which ones I want to use, and it's actually my 2 Tarte blushes because I haven't used them in a while. So I'm going to pull out these 2. So this one is Tarte Party, which you might be familiar with because I feel people have had this because it came as a birthday free gift. Really good neutral blush that should be easy to use. And this brighter Tarte shade, this is in the shade Thankful. This was a limited edition one from a couple of years ago. And it's just like a corally pink blush, as you can see there. So I think between the nude blush and this one, that'll give me enough variety. And I'm trying to also hit pan on a Wet n Wild blush right now, so I don't like to have more than like 3 blushes going each month, so that should actually cover my blushes. I know that was pretty quick, but I was pretty certain that these are the only ones I wanted to use. All right, so for bronzers and highlighters, I'm not using a randomizer for this either because I don't have a lot of either category. So I know for my bronzers, I want to bring in this Too Faced Beauty Wishes and Sweet Kisses palette I had for many years now. I got it as a gift one year, and I know I really like the Chocolate Soleil bronzer, so I want to play around with this. And I also want to play around with the Snow Bunny bronzer, which to me is more like a highlighter. It just does not turn up at all as a bronzer on my skin tone. It is very much a highlighter. So I'm gonna play around with both of these and see where we're at. And yeah, I just never know what to do with this palette because I like it, but it's very bulky and it takes up a lot of space, and I honestly just don't know. So we're gonna play around with that. And I think I want to bring in the Betty Luminizer bronzer as well. It wasn't that long ago that I brought this in, and I know I really like it. I want to take advantage of it while we're in the summer months because this is pretty pigmented and shimmery and glowy, and this is kind of the time that I like to use this type of a thing. So going to bring this one in. I forgot to mention this in the recap, but I was using Steal a Kitten for the past 2 months and the Ulta Liquid Illuminator for 2 months as well as my highlighters, and I love them both, especially the Steal a Kitten is like absolutely stunning as a shadow and a highlighter, but it is time to switch them out. These are pretty much my freestanding highlighters. The rest are in palettes and stuff, but or like sometimes I use eyeshadows as highlighters. Yeah, I feel like I used everything here fairly recently, so I'm gonna actually dip into this Super Fun Night palette that has a highlighter in it as well. So I kind of want to get more use out of this. It's not like a really standout type of highlighter that I remember, but if it's going to be in my collection, I want to at least get some use out of it. So I'm going to pull this one out. This is usually a palette I pull out in the winter time because it's more like the vibe of like partying it up and living it up. But yeah, going to use that. I said this is going to count as my highlighter and bronzer. There's my bronzer. I think what I'm also going to do is use these 2, which I pulled in for my shadows, as possible highlighters as well, because this bronzer slash highlighter ends up being a fail. I would like to have some other options. So these are actually really good as highlighters as well. So I'm excited to get even more use out of these 2, the Nude Beach one and this is MAC Nylon. So I'll use those as highlighters. So, okay, we have made some decisions here. So highlighters, bronzers, we're good to go with that. All right, now we're picking out lipsticks. I will not be bringing in any lip gloss because I have 2 right now that I'm trying to pan, and I think I'm rolling back in Fortune Cookie one more time. So we're set with lip gloss. I am going to pick 2 nudes of my own choosing and then use the random number generator to pick out the other 2 colors, whatever in the world they may be. I'm only going to pull in 4 total. So I want to use this Bite Cashew color, which I haven't used this much at all lately. It is a nude, like a darker kind of nude. I was thinking maybe to wait till September to use this, but I just haven't used this in a while and I don't want it to go bad on me because it is old already. It's their discontinued formula. But yeah, I need to get more use out of this, and I don't think I can wait another month. I really don't have a lot of nudes to begin with, so I haven't used this in a while. So it's time. I'm going to pull that guy in. And this little guy was a free gift, and I've been hoarding this Tarte birthday suit mini because like they don't make this color anymore. Like I tried to see if I could probably purchase the full size because I absolutely love this color so much. It's very hard to swatch now because there's just so little of it left. So I don't really know how much I'm going to get out of this. But I also want to keep the color because I want to duplicate it somewhere else. So it is one of my favorite lighter nude colors. So I want to play with this a little bit more, but I also don't want to like finish it because I'm afraid to. So I don't know. Either way, it's just sitting in my collection and nothing's happening with it. So why not use it? I'm going to pull that one in. And now I'm going to generate real quick like 2 more numbers and pick that way because I really have no strong inclinations towards a specific color. So I'm gonna be free flowing, and whatever I end up picking out, I'm going to wear. So I'll be right back. The generator picked out 28, 10, and 27. 28 is actually in the buff, which I'm currently using now anyway, and it's already in my rotation because I'm trying to pan it. So that's out. And 10 is actually Pommy Girl, so that is this one right here, which I did say if I didn't use it in my last shot my stash, it's fair game. So I'm gonna pull in this one, which I did use kind of recently, but I need to get more use out of it anyway, so that works out. This is just like a magenta color, so that is pretty and easy to use, hopefully. And the other number was 27, Maybelline's Baddest Beige. So this I definitely pulled in maybe like 2 or 3 months ago probably, but I can always get more use out of all of these. So, and again, I don't have a lot of lipsticks, so any use is fine by me. And I did pull in the other 2 that I didn't get to use at all much recently. So that's pretty fair. I think those colors will be perfect. I have a couple of nudes here I can play with and some color. I didn't pick a red out, which is a good thing. I mean, I love red, but that would be harder for me to use this time of year. So, okay. And I have lip glosses that I'm trying to use and a lipstick I'm trying to pan. So this should be perfect for this month. So for eyeliner, I did use the Google number generator to help me out because I don't have a strong leaning towards any right now. And the numbers that I did pick, it's funny, some of them were things that are in a project or something I just used last month. So those were out, but it did pick out this Dark Slate by L'Oreal gel eyeliner. So this is like a gray color. So I'm going to pull this guy in, which is actually great because it goes with a lot of looks. It picked out for me MAC Waveline, which is actually another one that is a gel liner, and it's this really fun sort of navy, but it's a little bit brighter than a navy, so I really like this one. It's a little bit more unique. Here are all the liquid liners and pencil liners. I just pulled them out of the container. The other shade was the Avon dark brown liner, which is one of my favorites in my collection as well, so I don't want to swatch it because it is just a dark brown. So but yeah, it is one of my faves. That is a decent amount of variety for me because I got a blue, a gray, and a brown. So that's like perfect. And another thing I do want to do is use this Cake mascara as an eyeliner. Iris, if you're watching, thank you for making that suggestion. I didn't like it as a mascara, but I think I'm going to pull this in as a black eyeliner for this month and see how I like it. So maybe that'll be a way to not let this go to waste. And for brow products, I'm going to use the NYX Cake Powder and continue on with this for another month, just to get more use out of it because it has been neglected for a while. So I used it a bunch last month and going to continue using it in August. So that'll be my brow product. Okay, so usually at this point in the video, I usually film myself putting this into my collection on my dresser, but today's a little bit different. I won't be able to do that. Eyeliners, my highlighters, and then the 2 shadows if I need those as highlighters, my 2 bronzers right here, the blushes I'm using, the 4 lipsticks, and the eyeshadows right here. So, and I guess you could say my brow powder too. Again, I do have other products I'm using. My foundations stay the same because I don't have that many. And I do also have Project Pan items, which are currently on my dresser right now. Yeah, that just about wraps it up. I hope you guys consider giving this video a like and of course a subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.